Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, we need to talk about a massive earnings report that just landed. It's from Singapore's biggest real estate agency, PropNex. And let me tell you, if you have any interest in the Singapore market, or just the property scene in general, you are going to want to see this. PropNex didn't just have a good first half of 2025. They absolutely smashed it. I mean, we're talking about profits more than doubling in just 1 year. So how did they do it? You know, with everything going on in the economy, is this a sign that the property market is really heating up? And the big one, what does it all mean for investors? We're going to break it all down right now. Okay, before we get into the good stuff, just a quick disclaimer. This video is for informational purposes only. It's not financial advice. Please always do your own research or chat with a licensed financial advisor before making any investment decision. All right, let's do this. First up, who exactly is PropNex? Well, to put it simply, they are a giant in the real estate world, and they are the #1 largest agency in Singapore. They are the go-to for buying, selling, and leasing property. Their business is really built on this huge and still growing team of salespersons. As of August 2025, they had over 13,600 agents. That's an army. They basically make money in two main ways. First, helping developers sell units in brand new projects, and second, handling the resale market for everything from HDB flats to those fancy luxury condos. And let's be honest, the market right now is interesting. You've got these global challenges like trade tariffs and all of that. But on the other hand, the Singapore property market has been just incredibly resilient. People are still buying. And that's the setup for these, frankly, wild results. Okay, let's get to the numbers, because this is the juicy part. PropNex just reported its strongest half year ever in their entire history. First off, revenue. It surged by a massive 73.3%. hitting nearly $600 million. That is a huge jump from the $345 million they did in the same period last year. For an agency, this tells you one thing: a ton of property was changing hands. But here's the real headline: the profit. Net attributable profit, that's the money they actually get to keep, it skyrocketed, up 122.4% to $42.3 million. I mean, just think about that. Doubling your profit in a single year? Wow. This means earnings per share also jumped by the same amount, to 5.71 cents. And for all of you who love dividends, listen to this. PropNex is giving out an interim cash dividend of 5.0 cents per share. That works out to a pretty sweet dividend yield of 4.6%. They're paying out almost 88% of their profit. That shows a real commitment to giving back to shareholders. You love to see it. So where did all this amazing growth come from? The report is actually super clear about it. The absolute superstar was their project marketing team. This is the part of the business that helps developers sell new buildings. Commission from this segment grew, get this, 183.2% to $258.5 million. That is just incredible. It tells us that new condo launches were selling like crazy, and PropNex was right in the middle of all that action. Their other main business, agency services, which is the resale market, also did great. Revenue there grew a very, very healthy 33.9%. So this wasn't just a one-trick pony. It was strong growth across the board, in both new and resale homes. That's the perfect scenario. Now, usually this is where we'd compare the results to what analysts were expecting, but in this case, PropNex didn't really give a forecast. So instead of asking if they met expectations, I think the story here is that they just set a completely new and incredibly high benchmark for the entire industry. The bar is now way up here. So what are the bosses saying about all this? It's always good to hear the story behind the numbers. The executive chairman, Mr. Ismail Ghafoor, pointed out that these record results are happening right on their 25th anniversary. He said he was proud to report record-breaking numbers that really prove PropNex's growth and strong market position. And he mentioned that his team delivered a 7% increase in transactions, even with all the economic headwinds. The new CEO, Mr. Kelvin Fong, gave us a peek into the future. He expects new home sales to bounce back strongly in the third quarter because there are a lot of new projects coming up. And he said something really smart, that sensitive pricing by developers will be the key. This shows that the leadership team gets it. They know buyers are watching their wallets. So, what's the plan for the rest of 2025? Their outlook seems, optimistic but realistic. For private homes, they're predicting a modest price increase of about 3 to 4% for the whole year. For the HDB resale market, they see prices going up by 4 to 5%. What's interesting is they actually lowered their HDB forecast just a little bit. It used to be 5 to 7%. To me, that's a good sign. It shows they're not getting carried away and are being responsible with their predictions. Overall, the company feels like it has a solid foundation for the rest of the year. Okay, so for a report this strong, you'd expect the stock market to react pretty positively, right? After an announcement like this, investors would be looking for the share price to pop. And honestly, doubling your profit is the kind of news that usually makes a stock jump. Analysts will likely be all over this, probably upgrading their price targets. The main thing we'll have to watch is whether the stock can build on that momentum as people figure out if this crazy growth can last. All right, let's put it all together. What does this mean for you if you're thinking about investing? First, let's look at the bull case. All the good stuff. Number 1, market dominance. PropNex is the biggest player in town, and they're still growing their team. In real estate, size is a huge, huge advantage. Number 2, they are just running the business incredibly well. You don't double your profit by accident. This company is firing on all cylinders. And number 3, they are very shareholder friendly. That big dividend is proof. They are rewarding their investors with actual cash. And 4, the market itself is strong. The Singapore property market continues to be very resilient, which gives PropNex a great environment to operate in. Okay, now for the bear case, the potential risks to keep in mind. First, the global economy. The company even mentioned it. Things like trade tariffs or a big slowdown could eventually hit Singapore and cool off the property market. Second, interest rates. If rates were to go up unexpectedly, mortgages would get more expensive, and that could definitely slow down buying. Third, government rules. This is a big one in Singapore. The government can, and does, introduce cooling measures to keep prices from getting out of control. This is always an unpredictable risk. And finally, was this a peak? That's the big question. They just had an incredible run. It's going to be really tough to keep up that kind of triple-digit growth. So for investors, it really looks like a top-tier company doing everything right. The risks seem to be more about the wider world, not so much the company itself. So there you have it, a really, really impressive first half for PropNex. Huge growth, happy shareholders, and a solid plan for the future. The big question now is, can they keep it up? Their guidance suggests things will be stable, but we'll be watching the next quarter's results very, very closely. Now, I want to know what you think. Is PropNex a buy, a hold, or a sell after this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I promise I read them all. If you found this breakdown useful and you want more deep dives just like this, please do me a favor and hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe and ring that little notification bell so you never miss a video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.